How you doing, Achievers? Ajit Sidhu here, and it's another beautiful day. I want to talk about the circle of care. This is a concept that I've come up with and I've realized throughout my life. And it became very clear to me yesterday. Yesterday, I went with my family to see, we went to Lapland, UK. And I'm going to reaffirm this through a story. Lapland, UK is an amazing place where it's a magical place where you reaffirm the magic that exists, the imagination world. And it's a place almost like Disney, but without Mickey Mouse. And the experience that you have is amazing. Now, when it comes to Christmas and Santa Claus gives. Santa Claus gives on Christmas Eve. He comes down the chimney and he puts a present under the tree. And he gives with a warm heart and a caring heart. So when we go to Lapland, when we took our children to Lapland, UK, we want to reaffirm this magic. We want to give them the teachings that when you share, you give. When you share and you care about others and you give with an open heart, you get. Because that's symbolized through the process of being good and taking care of others, and then you get rewarded through a gift. And so when we went there, we were greeted by the elves. The elves took us in and they showed a demonstration. They demonstrated how taking care of the environment, the ecosystem, taking care of the world, how we get rewarded from it, with it, and sharing the gifts. From that process, we walked into a toy factory where the children had to build toys, a cuddly bear that to build through fun, and they were making it whilst being reaffirmed that sharing this gift to the world, to the children, because it's not theirs to keep, this is for others, to build it and to create it is such a magical thing that to think of others. From that process, the elves took us to Mother Christmas's cottage, a wooden cottage where it was laden with gingerbreads on the table, and with small little containers with sweets in them, and the glazing, the sugar glazing. It was evident that the children will be making decorating the gingerbread. So Mother Claus came. She told all the children what they had to do for Santa, knowing that the children will be eating it anyway. And they had to glaze it and put the sweets on. So all the children went to the tables, started to do it. On my right-hand side, there was a mother with her child, and on my left-hand side was my son, and he was decorating his. As I looked into my youngest son's container, there was meant to be Smarties, and there was these protruding 3D sugary jelly treats that wouldn't even stick to the gingerbread. And in my mind, I thought, why would you even put these here? Because there's number one, they're full of too much sugar, but number two, they fall off. And as I looked in the container, all my youngest son, who's 3.5, had was those protruding 3D monstrosities that we had to stick on the gingerbread. And as he glazed it and tried sticking it on, it kept falling off. However, we persisted, we continued. And the next phase of Mother Claus came about, where she said, everyone, all children, sit down now. I'm going to be reading a book. Everyone rushed to get their seats. The mother next to me took her child. I could see that she had left the cookie still there. But the cookie that was there was full, laden with this 3D protruding jelly treats with about 10 or 15 Smarties all over. And I thought, wow, that's going to be a sugary treat for that child. I don't want to be close to that child when they have a crash, the sugar crash. And the children start having a tantrum. I tried picking up my son's treat, and the big jelly protruding things start glooping downwards and started slipping off, and I put it back down, and they had these little paper bags that you get from bakery shops where you can slide them in. And as I was about to slide them in, I noticed right next to me that little container that was left over. And it was full of 8 Smarties. And I looked at my son's little treat and I thought, I wonder if I should just take 2 and just plant them on there so I could just have little buttons, or maybe make eyes. And I looked at this little container and I thought, no one is coming, and the elves were coming to clear up now because all the children were sitting and the reading had started. And as I looked down, I thought, oh, should I take it? Should I just reach over and pop because it's left over now? And then the mother came back and I thought, great, the mother's back. And I leaned over to the mother and I said, whispering, I said, excuse me, my son doesn't have any Smarties. Do you mind if I borrow 2 just to make some eyes? And she looked at me and there was a tension that built up. And the tension started building up even more. And I kind of looked down thinking, have I made a mistake to ask her? And I was wondering what was going through her mind. And she said, no, my son's going to have them all. I think he wants them all. And she picked them up and she didn't even put them on the gingerbread. She threw them into the brown plastic bag, paper bag, threw the gingerbread and rushed off. At that moment, I thought to myself, what's the point of trying to teach your child about caring, about sharing, about giving, if your true nature is not that? And so I slipped my son's monstrosity of a cookie into the the paper bag, sat back down, thinking about what just happened. And I started thinking about, did I ask wrong? I even asked the word borrow in a sense, because when someone says borrow, you're going to give it back. I used that word strategically. And then I remembered a time when I watched a movie, and the movie is fantastic. It's called 10,000 BC. And this is a very long time ago. It's quite an old movie. And in that movie, the father is talking to his son. His son is young and he's giving his son a teacher. And the father is the leader of the village. And he goes out to his son. It's 10,000 BC, so it's 10,000 before Christ. So it's almost like caveman time. And he went out into the sandy desert area and he got a stick and he drew a circle. And he said, some people out there will only care for themselves. And he drew one circle around the dot. And he said, there's other people that will think about their family. And he drew a circle. And those people are the ones that would think about their husbands or the wives or the children. Just like that lady was thinking. She was being true to herself. And I continued my thought process while sitting there while Mother Claus was giving her reading about the elves and how giving and sharing and caring is great, and how the elf wanted to get the bell, so he had to help everyone. And then the father, going back to the thought process, the father drew a bigger circle, so the third circle. And he said, some people take care of their village. The village in our lives would be our family, our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our cousins. That's our village, our friends. So anyone we know, that becomes our village. And that's the third circle. And then he turned to his son in the movie and he said, but the fourth circle, son, that fourth circle spreads so far and wide that it does not exist, but you affect so many people's lives and you change time itself for the people. And this thought process, as I was going through it, it reminded me, that whole little scenario reminded me of the circle of care. And this is what I call the circle of care. So from that, we need to think about ourselves. Now bringing it back to us. Which circle of care do we exist in? Do we just take care of ourselves and not care about others? Or do we just take care of our partner and our children? Or do we take care of our village, meaning our family and our relatives and our friends, everyone that we know? Or do we spread further and further, adding value to people's lives and continuing to affect people's lives for generations? That's something that we need to think about. Now, every single circle is great in itself. There's no bad circle. But what is bad in my eyes, is my opinion, is when you're in a circle, but then you put this facade on to try to make yourself seem like you're in a bigger circle. But no matter what you do, your own circle will be revealed. And there's no point in giving teachings to your children about giving, about caring, about sharing, if our true nature is not one of giving and sharing and caring about others. It's just about our circle. So if we know what circle we are, because awareness is the key to life. If we know which circle we are, we need to be true to that circle. We need to take care of those people. If it's taking care of yourself, take care of yourself properly. If you're taking care of your family, your immediate family, your small circle of family, take care of that family with the true passion. If you truly take care of your village, then take care of the village with passion and love and care and keep adding value. But if you're one of those rare breeds that you cannot create a circle and it spreads out, adding value to people's lives, then you must be true to that. You must be true. If we are in one of those circles and do want to move on to the next phase, then the only way we can do that is by improving ourselves. And so going back to that scenario of the lady, first of all, I thought that's a bit wrong, but then I thought, no, she is right for what she's doing. She's taking care of her circle. She didn't have to give those Smarties to me to add to buttons on. She didn't care about my child. She didn't care about me. But she's true to herself. And so at that point, I let it go. And that's what we have to remember. When we meet people and they're in their circle, they're being true to themselves. If we meet people that are hugely affecting people's lives and entertaining or changing or teaching, or they're changing the generations to come, the dominoes that are being pushed, we don't know how far they're going to go. That is something that we should respect as well. It is just dependent on who you are, what you are. We've got to be true to ourselves, because how you do anything is how you do everything. There's no point in trying to hide who you are or what you want to be, because it will come out no matter what. It might come out whilst you're driving. It might come out when you're under pressure, under stress, because whatever's inside of you usually comes out when you're under stress and pressure. And from that, this whole video is dedicated to my parents, because my parents have done something today that seemed impossible, seemed like a struggle, but is a true testimonial proof that the circle that they've created in my life and for others is the one that is endless. And so this is for them, and it's well done in achieving. The true achievers, the invincible achievers, they did it. They've done it before. They've done it again today. And it's this process that they've achieved today is going to create a change in people's lives, and it's such a rewarding thing. And I just want to say thank you to them. And I just want to say to everyone, just remember, guys, we want to add value to people's lives. Keep spreading the love. Be aware of the circle of care that you are in. Be true to that circle of care. And now, if you do want to grow and push, then do grow and push and serve others and serve more. But just remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. So there's no point in trying to pretend that you're on a bigger circle when you're actually on this circle. So awareness is the key. And just remember, guys, we're only one idea away from changing the future. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.